Hello and welcome to another episode where Jesse and Cade talk about the Minnesota Twins, or as it says on Cade's name tag, Big Stick Rick. Maybe we'll get a Big Stick Rick session today just to talk about this abysmal team and their Cleveland series, which they won only one of four games, but they did rebound and win two of three games. This team's kind of on track for what I predicted of 75 to 78 wins. It seems like throughout the season they're going to be doing 6-4, 4-6, 5-5, and 10 game stretches. I think it's going to be hard to find this team rattling off two straight series sweeps or 7 of 10, 8 of 10. So this might be what we're getting. A quick update: Royce Lewis supposed to be on rehab assignment because St. Paul rains so much for all of St. Paul Saints games. They've already had 10 rainouts so far this season. Royce can't get in back-to-back games. The Twins want to see him in back-to-back games before he gets called up. So until we can get two straight games of AAA baseball, which we won't get today because AAA is off on Mondays, until we get back-to-back AAA games, we won't see Royce Lewis in a Twins uniform. And then we also have to make sure that Royce Lewis doesn't tweak his quad or something in a AAA back-to-back game. But he'll probably save that for when he comes back up to the majors. I didn't mean that. Uh, Joe Ryan leads the team right now in ERA with a 2.93 ERA and a whip of point 0.9. Ty France leads the team right now in OBP with a 326 OBP. It's pretty brutal. And we'll just kind of we'll dive right into it. What's the outlook for the Baltimore series
Uh,
this week
I
for
have
you?
good. I actually have good confidence. We're sitting here as a Twins fans complaining about our team and how well or how poor they're producing. Baltimore is really struggling. For a team that coming into it on like FanDuel's on like Super or World Series odds, they were up there.
Yeah.
They lost a little some aspects last year, but there's no way they're a 13-20 ball team. Obviously they had a couple injuries notable at the beginning of the season, but everyone's playing right now. And that team is had a lot of young talent. They're supposed to be a good ball team, but right now they are not doing well. They're 13-20 going into it. Um, and not even that, we have, in my mind, for once, we actually have the pitching matchups that we want. We haven't seen Pablo and Joe Ryan pitch in the same series in what seems like, I mean, since Pablo got hurt. And for once, we're actually going to get our 1 and 2 guy. Um, and I think it's good. I think we're winning at least two out of three.
Yeah, I can see why you would believe that just because of Baltimore struggling and we get our two best pitchers on the mound this week. However, I feel like this might be a trap like that Atlanta Braves series where we go into that Atlanta Braves series and we feel pretty confident because Atlanta's struggling. Atlanta is supposed to be a good team, isn't a good team, and the Twins carry in a couple run lead into the eighth inning. They blow it, and then they end up getting swept. Now, I don't think that the Twins get swept by Baltimore, but I do think it's going to be a little tougher than we think. Now, I know the pitching matchups are super juicy. You got Cade Povich against Pablo Lopez tomorrow. Cade Povich actually was a Minnesota Twin, but the Twins didn't want a lefty in their rotation still, so they acquired Jorge Lopez for Cade Povich and Yennier Cano. By the way, is Yennier Cano still on the Orioles? He he
I
was
don't know
shut down for them for
for
quite a
why.
while. So while you look that up, I'll continue talking. Cade Povich against Pablo Lopez. Baltimore doesn't have a listed starter against Woods Richardson on Wednesday, and then as far as Thursday goes, you got Dean Kramer, which is seems like he's having a really poor season as well. 5.93 ERA against Joe Ryan. So yes, they should win this series, but there are some things that are super concerning to me, even from this last week between the Cleveland series and the Boston Red Sox series. This team hasn't won a game yet this season, scoring 3 runs or less, and this offense has been so poor. And as I mentioned, the leader in on base percentage for the Twins is Ty France with a 326 on base percentage. Not It's not good. Only four players on the Twins actually qualify for on base percentage minimum at bats. But then you have someone like Byron Buxton who is leading the team in home runs and who also has been playing really good center field, but his on base percentage is 290. And 290 is kind of an unacceptable on base percentage.
Yeah, I agree. A couple of these games back and over this last series, there was a couple games where we actually had multiple hits, but no one could else move a guy up or just get on base after that. It seems like everyone's trying to do too much. Seems like the games we do score runs, it's doubles, good offense, but we seem to not be able to scrap across just one run late in games.
Yep.
Um, we do it early. Seems like early in the game, if we can, second, third inning, we can get a guy on. If it's someone can maybe ground out to second, right side, and move a guy over or bunt, not even bunt him over. I haven't seen that done yet. Um, but yeah, it's just kind of crazy that we can't really manufacture runs and or just get on base.
We did have another contact play on Saturday night where the ball was hit to the third baseman again, and Kiersey was thrown out at home plate again. Not Kiersey again, but this is a constant trend that we see almost once every series where there's a guy on third and then the infield's in and the batter hits the ball right to third base. The guy at third base goes and gets thrown out at home. I feel like that's happened at least 5 times this season. And I think that's more than I've ever seen of watching Twins baseball for that happening to the Twins in the last 20 years. I feel like there needs has to be some sort of adjustment. I understand that there's a process to this and there's odds to it not happening, but the whole contact play and run on contact while at third with one out is has been detrimental to this team this season and it's costing them runs. Uh, something to continue to watch for sure. By the way, Yennier Cano is still with the Baltimore Orioles in 13 games this season. He has a 1.54 ERA, so he's having another good season.
A good trade by us. Another one.
Yeah, I was actually just telling Cade before we hopped on the podcast. I was talking to somebody in the Giants front office, and I had a conversation about Lamont Wade, who was one of my favorite Minnesota Twins, and the Twins had traded Lamont Wade for Sean Anderson. If anybody remembers the name Sean Anderson, I think he pitched 7 games with the Twins. Anybody likes to play Immaculate Grid, if you get a Giants Twins, pick Sean Anderson. You'll get a point. You'll get a .05. I guarantee it. So yeah, I feel like. Well, so are you saying that you think they're going to take 2 or 3, or are you saying sweep
I'm gonna go just 2 and 3.
2 or 3? Okay.
It, I believe our pitching will be there for sure, but in the same sense, I don't like it when in the last 5 to 6 games we've lost games 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 3 to 4. It just we need to clearly score 3, 4 runs, and that's a struggle for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we need our whole bullpen to do above average. And yes, is our bullpen above average and our starters? I believe so. But over a 3 game series, one game you're going to give up over four. And clearly, when we give up over four, we are a bottom tier team. So I just think one game will get away. We'll lose a close one, maybe 3-4, something like that. But I'm pretty confident to say 2 out of 3.
What's your plan for the next 3 series? You got 3 against Baltimore, 3 against San Francisco at home, and then you got 3 against Baltimore on the road. In those next 9 games, what do you think they need in order to continue being in a spot of contention?
I'll shrink it down to the first 6 games with San Fran. We're looking for 3 and 3. San Fran's a really good ball club. Um, so to get one win out of that is a good one. But the more important thing with that is look for us to just be competitive. Let's just focus on our offense. If we go 1 and 3 against that team, but we score 3, 4 runs each game, and our offense starts moving around, okay, we're looking good. But yeah, over the next nine, I think we could easily win 5, 6. Baltimore right now, if we can beat them this series, I think the series we go to Baltimore. I think we could again win 2 out of 3, if not sweep them there.
Okay. Okay. So you're thinking 5-4 or 6-3 just to
Yep.
maintain that competitiveness through
Yep.
May. And hopefully maybe Royce Lewis comes back for that Baltimore series next week after that Monday off. That would be the hope. So I'm not sure of the Saints schedule, but if the Saints are at home this week, Twins are at home this week, maybe he jumps over for the San Francisco series. I personally think that 6-3 is what you're going to need to do. And if that means taking 2 of 3 in 3 straight series, that's what winning teams do. And at least you have San Francisco at home. So you're playing in your conditions, the conditions you're used to. San Francisco's has been playing out west all year for the most part. So if you can, take advantage of maybe some adjustment for the players, get that steal a second win. Now you're not going to have Joe Ryan on the hill for the weekend against San Francisco, but you will have Jorge Lopez, I think, in the finale, or maybe
Yep.
in the finale. So those other two games, you're gonna have Ober, which is a really good pitcher. Ober pitched really well yesterday, and then you're also gonna have Chris Paddock, which is your new favorite pitcher. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Well, first off, not my new favorite pitcher. I just said we at least deserve a little respect, saying that he gave us one good outing this season, and we didn't help him. When you have your worst pitcher pitch, he gives up one run, and you don't win a ball game. That's a crushing defeat to me.
Mhm.
I think I would rather lose 12-0 with our worst pitcher than lose 2-1 with our worst pitcher, and we just can't give him any support. It just hurts to see.
So I think the team needs to issue an apology to Paddock, and maybe Paddock can bounce back against the Giants.
Well, I don't see that happening. Giants are a pretty dang good ball team over Cleveland right now. I would still rather have Paddock be sent anywhere else besides our starting rotation. And yeah, that's why I'll end on that on conversation.
But 2 of 3 is realistic because you do have
Yep.
Ober and you do have Lopez on the mound. So give up 0 runs, so then you can win. Because if you give up one, you're not going to win. All right, let's. You still have those Eddie Julian stats in front of you.
Yes, I do.
All right, give me a minute and a half here to talk about how I feel about Eddie Julian, and then you rattle off those stats after I'm done.
Go.
Okay. So last episode, I cursed Eddie Julian's name because I really wanted him to perform, and it was reverse psychology. This time, I'm calling him out because I can't watch him play baseball anymore. He's late on every single fastball. He can't hit off speed. He is atrocious in the field. I feel like part of that is also a little bit on the organization about, oh, take some reps at first. Okay, go back to second when he was never solid at second in the first place. On the base paths, I've never seen a second baseman that slow. Maybe Chase Utley, but Chase Utley could hit dingers. Eddie Julian led off that Cleveland series with that home run, which ironically was the other way because he was late again. And I just in the leadoff spot, I was really happy to see the Twins put Larnick and Buxton in the leadoff spot rather than Julian because that's going to be really crucial. Hell, I'm fine with Jonah Bride playing third and Brooksley playing second. Essentially, that's what I want, and that's what the team is going to look like when Royce Lewis comes back, which will be good. And maybe Julian can go back down to St. Paul and learn how to tighten the batting gloves in a different way and step inside the on deck circle and just really shore up on those major league tendencies, whatever it actually is. All right, I'm done for now. Tell me, tell me the Eddie Julian numbers again.
This is per Baseball Savant. Batting run value 16. All these out of 100, by the way. Batting run value 16. Base running value is a 7. Fielding run value is a 3. So bottom tier MLB player. Um,
Give me
weird
the
this
good.
his individual offensive stats are kind of interesting. His sweet spots percentage is an 83 percentile. His chase rate's an 80. His whiff rate's a 43. Um, his K rate's only 17, and his walk rate's a 67. So weirdly, you're looking at it like, okay, he's got some potential there. Um, Going to depth of per pitch, we talked about him being late on fastballs and not being able to hit this. This year in 2025, he has faced 103 changeups. His batting average on those pitches is a .043. Fastballs, he has seen 97. So pretty close. So pitchers are clearly pitching them fast, sitting them down with changeups. And that's fine. It's a strategy in the game.
Mhm.
You're telling me 200 pitches you've seen so far in a batting average of 235 against fastballs. You're telling me between those two stats, you can't put more balls in play or get more hits. Like it's just clearly they're not pitching him anything. It's
Yeah.
just and like you said, the fielding percentage is terrible. He's atrocious in the field.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, we might as well bring back Nishioka with a broken leg and put him out there. It's atrocious, and I don't know how you fix it. You mentioned putting Brooks Lee at second and Jonah Bride at third, and we said that Royce is coming up soon. I think this series a weird thing. If you're going to keep him in the big house, maybe let him DH for 3 games. Make
Julian,
him, yeah, make him just worry about batting for 3 games. If you don't see any production, he's clearly still uncomfortable, and he doesn't perform. AAA, send up Royce. We won't do that. We're probably gonna send down to Cody Clemens or someone else. But I don't know. If you're struggling in all three aspects of baseball as a positional fielder, do something. You can't put him in the field and DH for him like you can in town ball baseball or high school baseball.
that'd be ideal, but even
But
even that, you don't want him in the field either.
no, he's statistically a worse fielder than he is a hitter.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what we should do. Just let him DH for a series. You have
Yeah.
nothing to worry about. Don't even grab your glove. Don't even bring it to the clubhouse. We'll go throw Jorge Alcala and throw him at second base. Alcala can't throw in the out of a bullpen, so maybe let's just put him in the field and see what he can do. So I don't know. It's tough seeing the organization just stick with a guy. And I know it's pretty early in the season, but we saw it last year. So I don't see. I don't know if he's got some explicit photos of Rocco on his phone and
That's what JK had.
yeah, it was JK. Don't even start on that guy. But I don't know. It's just tough to see. And we have prospects that play second base that are hitting, that play good.
Hmm.
And young. I mean, he's only 26, so I guess he's not old and by any means. But what is with our organization and just sticking with their guys when they're not doing well? Like what analytical bias is Rocco towards him?
I understand your theory of just letting him DH for a series. I I just I don't know if I could watch those games.
Right. And I'm not saying it's the solution, but clearly we're going to put him in the lineup.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So I
Hopefully not
guess,
at the top anymore. Can we
yeah,
stop that experiment, please? The Twins, I heard on the broadcast, I think it was yesterday, have the lowest batting average for a leadoff hitter in the entire league, or at least like bottom half, bottom third, bottom quarter of the whole entire league. It was something like 22 total hits this season out of the leadoff spot, which is absolutely atrocious.
that's not
And I I feel bad just dumping on Eddie Julian, and I'll move away from it for now. But I'm not going to forget when we talk about the San Francisco series or the next Baltimore series when we have an episode next. I'll probably mention him again, but that's where I stand at the moment. Prove me wrong this week. I'll apologize. I have no problem apologizing for being wrong, but like you said, this has been going on since last season, and I don't feel like it's going to end. I'm gonna move over to the bullpen quick, and then we'll wrap it up. And we're gonna have a NFL draft Wolves episode also that we're gonna post separately. Um, you mentioned Jorge Alcala in the bullpen. This is a guy but came up about 5 or 6 years ago, came up with really good stuff. What seemed like really good stuff. 97, 98. And at the time, I still think at that time we were really enamored with velocity because I think that the fastball average at the time was still 92, 93, but now everybody's throwing 96, 97.
Yep.
It's a more and more common practice, especially as the years continue to go on. I'm not ready to say I am completely done with Jorge Alcala yet. I'm like 2 weeks away. I'm 2 weeks away. Hopefully, we can see some sort of progression for the upcoming series. Maybe give him some mop up time. Twins are up 10-1 in the sixth. Just let them pitch, And
Yep.
or if the
We're
Twins
gonna
are,
score 10.
we're gonna score 10. We're gonna score 10 in one of those Baltimore games. I'm gonna predict that, and then we're gonna score two in the other two. But one
Come on,
one of
James.
one of the three games they're gonna explode for 10. Throw them in for that. Get him some innings. Pinch hit Julian when you're up 10 also. Let him get some at bats and exercise your demons. See if you can come around. My prediction for this series is they take two of three.
Okay. Yeah, so about same on that.
Yeah. And
What
I
about the
think
Giants series?
the the Giants series, I'm gonna say that they lose two of three. And then I'm gonna say that they lose two of three at Baltimore as well.
Okay.
So I think they go I think they go 4-5 over the next nine.
Okay. I think it's gonna be I think they're gonna win 2 or 3 against both Baltimore series.
Hmm.
Um, the only way that changes, which obviously it won't matter, but if we do lose 2 out of 3 this series, it could be the kind of the turnaround for that ball club. And if they stay hot when we go back to them, yeah, then we might get swept by be the Atlanta series or the Atlanta series again where we're
Yep.
confident and then
Yep.
a good baseball team finally found it. So, but I think it's gonna be 2 out of 3, 1 out of 3, and 2 out of 3.
I said it earlier, the thing about Baltimore is it is very similar to the whole Atlanta situation. They've got way too much talent to be this bad.
Yep.
They got Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Holiday. Jackson Holiday just hit two jacks, I think, in a game on Saturday. No, it was yesterday. He hit two jacks yesterday. And Ali Rutschman, Cedric Mullins, like they have a really, really good team and they have a lot of really good prospects. So hopefully the Twins can sneak by before they do get hot because I do still feel like Baltimore will contend this year. If anything, if the Twins are competing for a wild card spot, we're going to see Baltimore right next to the Minnesota Twins.
Right.
But yeah, I say 4 or 5. You got 5-4.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Well, as usual, it probably won't turn out anything like we think, where they'll lose two or three at Baltimore, they'll sweep San Francisco, and then they'll win one at Baltimore next week. So we'll see what happens. Until then, Kate and I will hop on another episode shortly. We are going to shoot a separate episode talking about the NFL draft, where the Vikings are at, and then I have to get on my Wolves soapbox for about 15 minutes as well. So thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment. We appreciate you.